This video is on inverse functions. A function only has an inverse if it is a one-to-one function. What that means is, for the function, for each value of y, there can only be one value of x. Quick explanation with that. So, example, if you had a parabola, a quadratic equation like this, let's put it on some axes. This y value here, say if that's 2, has 2 points here, which covers at 2 points, which means it's got two values of x that match that one y value, which means it is a one-to-many function, not a one-to-one function. The inverse of a function is denoted by this notation, so f to the power of -1 and then in brackets x. So when we're looking at function notation, if it's got that -1 in the power, that means it's an inverse. The inverse of a function reverses the effect of the original function. So here, for example, if the function at 2 equals 4, then the inverse at 4 equals 2. The domain of the inverse function is equal to the range of the original, and the range of the inverse is equal to the domain of the original. First example, if the function x equals 3x plus 5, find the inverse at 11. So we want the inverse at 11. We want to find out what that equals. Now, with an inverse, we can rearrange it as a normal function, remember, by swapping the x and y. So then on the original function, this would be the function at x equals 11. So you see that here, the 11 and the x will swap when it goes to the original, which means it then becomes very easy to solve. So it means we want to know when the original equation equals 11, which means we'll have when 3x plus 5 equals 11, solve this, and x will equal 2. Therefore, the inverse at 11 equals 2. Sometimes you may also have to sketch the inverse. Best way to start with this one is to draw the line of y on x. So on this graph it's a bit hard to see because we've got 1 and pi on 2s and things on there. But in an exam situation for the IB, it would be very easy to see, to be able to draw the y on x line. So that line is where you're going 0, 0, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3. They're your coordinates to draw the line. So that's an approximate line of y equals x in red there down the middle. And then to draw the inverse, you just draw a reflection around that line. So this top point here is at pi on 2, 1. Which means on the inverse, it will be at 1 pi on 2. So you approximate 1 and pi on 2, so pi on 2 is about 1.5, 1.6, so just estimate that. As I said, in an exam, you would probably be able to do it a bit more exact, but as long as it's in approximately the right place, you will be good. 0, 0 is going to stay at 0, 0, so this middle point will just stay the same. This point here at the bottom that's at -pi on 2, -1, will end up being at -1, -pi on 2. -1 we're going to say is about here. Let's say that's one there. Pi on 2 will be, -pi on 2 will be somewhere around there. Something like that. You just do your best to draw a sketch that is a reflection. So something a bit like that. So as you can see, that is a reflection of the blue line across that middle line of y equals x. And that is inverses.